Hey there, fishing friends and fellow angling adventurers. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your resident fishing expert, and today we're diving deep into an exciting forecast for what promises to be a truly special week of fishing across Australia. We're talking about the period from the 27th of October to the 2nd of November 2025. Get ready, because this week is going to throw some delightful surprises our way. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to cast your line and what bait to use for maximum success. What makes this week so special, you ask? Well, my friends, we're right in the heart of Australian spring. And with the water warming up nicely and the moon getting fatter, the fish are getting feisty. From the southern coasts to the tropical north, we're seeing increased activity across many of our favorite species, which means more bites and bigger smiles. But there's a trick to unlocking this potential, and it all comes down to understanding the conditions. So, let's cast off. First up, let's talk tactics and targets for this cracking week. We've got a great mix of species showing increased activity thanks to the warming spring waters. We are in the heart of spring and the fish are feeling it. Our beloved flathead will be super active, my friends. These cunning ambush predators are really starting to turn on as the water warms up nicely into the high teens and low 20s Celsius in many of our coastal areas. They'll be moving into those shallower feeding grounds, especially in our estuaries, river mouths, and shallow sandy areas. My little trick for you, focus on the outgoing tides. That's when they often position themselves to ambush baitfish being flushed out. Look for sandy drop-offs, weed beds, and the edges of channels. For flathead, soft plastics are deadly. Think 3 to 4 inch grub tails or paddle tails in natural baitfish colors like clear with glitter or a subtle green. Work them slowly with a hop and drag retrieve along the bottom. If you prefer bait, fresh prawns or pilchard pieces fished on a running sinker rig are always effective, and don't be afraid to add a small amount of scent to your soft plastics for that extra edge. Next, let's talk about our estuary favorites. Bream. These guys are absolute spring superstars, with baitfish and prawns becoming more abundant in the warmer waters. They'll be on the hunt. You'll find them active in the shallower parts of estuaries, around oyster leases, rock walls and pontoons. They love a bit of structure for cover and food. For bream, fresh prawns, nippers, or even a small crab, imitation, soft plastic, worked slowly around structure will be deadly. On the lure front, small hard-bodied crankbaits or vibes worked tight to structure can also entice a strike. Light leader and a stealthy approach are your best friends for these often wary feeders. Now for the action-packed Australian salmon. These powerful fighters are hitting our southern and eastern coastlines in good numbers, responding to the warming ocean currents. Look for schools harassing baitfish at first light, along surf beaches, headlands, and in the entrances of harbours and bays. Keep an eye out for working birds. They're often a dead giveaway. Metal slugs and small stick baits are your go-to lures. Cast them far and retrieve quickly, mimicking fleeing baitfish. If you see them busting up on the surface, a fast retrieve is key. For baitfishers, pilchards or whole pilchards on ganged hooks cast into gutters will do the trick. And for those of you in the tropical north, it's all about the barramundi. The build-up season is in full swing, and barramundi activity is exploding. The breeding season has begun, bringing big female breeders and smaller mature male fish to congregate around river mouths and estuaries to spawn. Look for them around snags, submerged timber, and along the edges of mangrove lines in saltwater estuaries. In inland billabongs, cast lures and flies among aquatic vegetation. They'll also be holding around any pressure points or ambush points like rock bars and current breaks. Hard-bodied shallow divers, soft plastics rigged weedless, and topwater lures like poppers or walk-the-dog-style baits are incredibly effective. For bait, live mullet or prawns are hard to beat. Remember to use strong tackle, as these fish hit hard and head straight for cover. All right, my friends, let's get into the nitty-gritty of why the fish will be biting or not this week. Understanding the conditions is half the battle. Weather. This week, we're seeing typical late spring conditions across much of Australia. In the tropical north, expect hot days, often exceeding 29 degrees Celsius, with increasing humidity and the chance of afternoon thunderstorms as the wet season approaches. On the east coast, from Brisbane to Sydney, temperatures will be comfortably warm, ranging from the low 20s to mid-20s Celsius, with mostly sunny days but also the possibility of isolated showers. Further south, around Melbourne and Hobart, it will be milder, with temperatures from the mid-teens to low 20s Celsius. We might see variable winds, and some days could bring cooler southerly changes, particularly in the southeast, which can stir up bait but also make conditions a bit choppy. Atmospheric pressure generally looks to be stable or slowly rising across many regions, which is often a good sign for active fish. However, rapid drops, especially before those tropical thunderstorms, can shut down the bite temporarily. Water temperature. Water temperatures are definitely on the rise, which is fantastic news. In many coastal estuaries and bays, we're seeing temperatures in the high teens to low 20s Celsius. This is the magic zone that triggers increased metabolism and feeding activity for species like flathead, bream, and whiting. In the cooler southern waters, temperatures are still climbing, but are mild enough for Australian salmon to be comfortable, typically in the mid-teens to low 20s. Up north, the tropical waters are already warm, around 26 to 27 degrees Celsius, perfect for barra as they prepare for spawning. Warmer water means more active baitfish and crustaceans, which in turn means more food for our target species, leading to increased aggression and feeding. Moon phase. For our forecast period, from October 27th to November 2nd, we'll be moving through the waxing crescent phase into the first quarter and then into the waxing gibbous. On October 27th, we start with a waxing crescent moon, about 40% illuminated. By October 29th, we hit the first quarter with exactly 50% illumination, and then we progress into the waxing gibbous phase, steadily increasing in brightness towards the full moon. Many anglers swear by the idea that a growing moon, particularly around the first quarter, correlates with increased fish activity, largely due to stronger tides. Stronger tides mean more water movement, stirring up bait and encouraging predatory fish to feed. So this week's moon phase is definitely a positive for the bite. General fish activity. Overall, this is a prime time for fishing across Australia. It's spring and everything is coming alive. Estuary species like flathead, bream, and whiting are particularly active inshore, responding well to the rising water temperatures and increased baitfish presence. Coastal species like Australian salmon are in full swing. In the tropical north, Barramundi are just exploding with activity as the build-up season hits its stride. Freshwater fishing for trout in alpine regions is also excellent, with fish actively feeding on surface insects as the water warms. This is a fantastic time for both freshwater and saltwater anglers, so get out there. Now for the moment of truth, friends, your day-by-day forecast to plan those crucial fishing trips. Monday, October 27th, I'm calling the bite as good to excellent today. We're starting the week with stable weather and a waxing crescent moon, which should keep fish active. Look for strong flathead and bream activity in estuaries, especially during outgoing tides. Australian salmon should be hitting coastal areas. Tuesday, October 28th, another good day for fishing. The moon continues to wax and water temperatures are steadily increasing. Expect consistent bites from estuary species. In the tropical north, Barramundi will be increasingly aggressive around snags. Wednesday, October 29th. Today is a very good day, potentially excellent in some areas. It's the first quarter moon, meaning stronger tides and increased bait movement. This, combined with stable, warm conditions, should really get predators on the chew. Target flathead and bream during tide changes and expect solid salmon action. Thursday, October 30th. We're looking at a good bite. The moon is now waxing gibbous, still providing strong tides. Keep an eye on the weather. If any local fronts pass through, there might be a temporary dip in pressure, making the bite a bit more capricious, but generally, fish will be active. Friday, October 31st. Expect a good to average bite today. Conditions should remain favorable with the growing moon. There might be localized showers, especially on the east coast, which could either spark a bite or make it slightly harder, depending on intensity. Adapt your tactics to stained water if necessary. Saturday, November 1st, a good day for fishing as we enter November. The waxing gibbous moon continues to build towards the full, and water temperatures are firmly in the spring zone. This is a great day for an early morning session for salmon or barramundi. Sunday, November 2nd. Closing out our forecast period with a good bite. Similar to Saturday, the consistent conditions and strong moon phase should maintain good fish activity. It's a perfect day to explore those estuary flats for whiting or target bigger flathead on structure. So there you have it, my friends, your comprehensive fishing forecast for Australia from the 27th of October to the 2nd of November 2025. This is a dynamic and exciting week shaping up across our incredible waters, so get out there, enjoy Mother Nature, and remember to fish responsibly. I wish you all tight lines and nippers in your bucket. May your reels scream and your esky be full. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this forecast helpful, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more expert tips and fishing adventures. I love hearing from you all, so tell me in the comments below. What are your plans for this week's fishing? What species are you targeting? And what's your go-to spring lure or bait? Share your observations, your triumphs, and even your funny fishing stories. Until next time, keep those lines wet and I'll catch you on the next one.